Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a hump day edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock, the Batters Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com, Restored Motions, RestoredMotions.com, and ProCharge EV, ProChargeEV.com. All right, y'all. Hope your week is going great. Mine is getting back in the flow, being back in town after the trip to NYC. LSU hit the practice field on Monday to start their bowl preparation, so we're waiting on some media availability so we can catch up with Brian Kelly and potentially players, etc., to see how bowl prep is going. LSU did release a video on Tuesday of bowl preparation. Malik Neighbors was, keep in mind, LSU is editing that video down. They can put whoever they want in that video. So they did show Malik Neighbors in the video. Brian Thomas was in the video as well. So they did not, however, show any of the quarterbacks, and we are to assume Jaden Daniels was not there because, let's be very clear, he was flying home from New York on Monday. So he was not at practice on Monday, and I don't suspect he will be. Again, don't know that. That's speculative on my part. I'm just assuming Jaden won't be playing the bowl game, but we'll see as we go along. You notice there in the description, I mentioned Tommy Moffitt headed to Texas A&M as the strength and conditioning coordinator. So, look, there are. I posted on Instagram the graphic that Tommy Moffitt was going to Texas A&M with a little write up, congratulating him, talking about how it was kind of inevitable he would get back in. I think I've mentioned this before, but Tommy and his wife Jill have 3 sons. Clay, Aaron, and Brady. Brady was the youngest. All 3 went to Catholic High. Brady just finished Catholic last year. I think Brady's senior year was last year. So I think it makes sense now that if he was going to take a job and move, it would do it now that Brady's finished Catholic. That all of his boys are done with high school. You wouldn't want to pack up and move your family. When your kids have been raised in one place their whole life, and then then all of a sudden it's senior year and a kid's going to move. So anyway, I think the timing was good. Obviously, the opportunity at Texas A&M, where you have resources, facilities, major program, all that stuff. It really is a bummer from an LSU perspective. But if you go look at the post, you'll see any number of former LSU players talking about how he is their favorite coach ever, how much of a big loss it is, how what a gain it is for Texas A&M, et cetera, et cetera. And the funny contrast is that all of the players who played for him, who trained under him, love him, adored him, cherish him, value him. But you go look at fan comments and it's like, the game passed him by, he's over the hill, blah, blah. Like, it goes right back into the stupid fan narrative thing. It's slipped the last few years. Like, it's the same conversation some of you were having, or we were all having, about the Corey Raymond deal. I don't know how much more plainly I can say this. When so many fans continue to say this coach slipped over the last 2 years, that slipped, don't you realize that was Ed Ogeron? Corey Raymond didn't forget how to recruit and coach. Tommy Moffitt didn't stop being a good strength and conditioning coordinator. Your head coach was a disaster. The inmates were running the asylum. You had the team marching in protest during the BLM movement because of the way that Ed Ogeron treated a player in the locker room who shall remain nameless. But anyway, the point is, Ed Ogeron was the disaster. He made awful coordinator hires and the thing fell apart. Like, what is confusing about this? It's so interesting to me that all the people that played for Tommy Moffitt revere him, yet fans who have never so much as stepped foot inside of the LSU football operations building speak definitively as if they know his standards slipped or something. It's one of the more perplexing things. Like, people who literally don't know a thing about which they speak, yet speak so definitively about that thing. It really is confusing to me. Like, the audacity to assume you know something when you know nothing. Like, it's crazy to me. Anyway, so that's a great hire for Texas A&M. And it's a real bummer. I'm pumped for Tommy Moffitt because he's a great man and he's been great to me and all the reasons why. Everybody loves him. You just on a personal level, I'm very excited for him. From a football standpoint, I'm bummed that he's going to Texas A&M. I hate that. I wish he was going to Miami, Penn State, Oregon, not somewhere in the SEC. But anyway. Jacob Thompson, good morning, Matt. When did Brian Kelly say he was going to evaluate the coaches again? That would have been last week. Wendell Norman, good morning. Bubba Tatum, good morning. Brian Wynn, William Moore, Trivia Carter, Hunter Perriman, good morning. Any news on Corey Raymond? Nope. Jesse Brown, morning, Matt. Happy hump day. Enjoy the show. Like button smashed. Thank you. James McKinney, James Avery, good morning. Ryan Jones, good morning, Matt. Tulane football hire. Yeah. Summerall, good young coach. Most people seem to think it's a good hire. All right, Trivia Carter, LSU women's basketball beat McNeese 133-44. Yeah, so it was a program high in points and margin of victory. Zach Swan, good morning. Trivia Carter, Sanders to the Saints 2025. You guys are talking about Shadur Sanders. Sure. Hang on one second, Joe. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, I think realistically, as much as we all want to see the Saints draft Jaden Daniels, realistically, I think the opportunity for the Saints to draft a quarterback is better next year than it is this year. Cliff Nelson, good morning, Uncle Scone. What's the biggest thing that LSU fan base needs to be sat on your lap and calm down about hashtag Team Drew? I don't know, Cliff. Because I think the biggest anxiety is all this defensive stuff. Now, what I will tell you is there will be defensive staff changes. And I believe there will be at least 2 different defensive coaches on staff next year. At least 2, possibly more. Maybe the thing would be to trust Brian Kelly because he's got a history of getting it right. But I understand if if you are anxious about it. I think you are right to be. I think you're right to be. Because if Brian Kelly keeps the status quo with Matt House, that's a problem. To not acknowledge that big of an issue and to retain him. So I would understand the apprehension there. Deborah Coward, good morning. Royce Pierce, Shane, big fella. Ransom Antoine, morning, Matt. If Dennis Allen is retained, do you think no one will want the OC because love for Carr and wanting their own quarterback? No. The thing is, Antoine, you got to remember, man, there's 32 NFL head coaching jobs. There's 32 NFL offensive coordinator jobs. There are always going to be people who want those jobs. Ambitious coaches who are going to take those opportunities to better their career and better themselves in their lives. So, yes, they will always have candidates and people eager to take them. Swee Aben, good morning. Irfan Sayad, Brad David, does Moffitt have a connection to Elko? Have they worked together before? Nope. Tommy Moffitt's been at LSU since Nick Saban hired him back before the 2000 season. Prior to that, he was at Miami. And prior to that, he had been at Tennessee. So, no connection to Elko. None that I'm aware of, anyway. Ray Langlois, Barry Joslin, Jason H., Christian Geiger. Definition of ignorance, Matt, speaking about what you do not know. It's true. Taylor Hudson, morning, Matt. I know you're not the recruiting guy, but On3 has LSU at 12 right now. Are you content with where LSU is and the commits we have? Early signing day is next week, right? Yes, so early signing day is the 20th, so it's 1 week from today. Is when the early signing period begins. Am I content? No, I think they still have work to do. But Taylor, I'll tell you this: I'm not moved in any way by being 12th. I genuinely don't care what the ranking says. I think that's fodder for message boards and Twitter and things when fans try to flex on others about their recruiting ranking. I've covered LSU since 2007, and I've followed the program my whole life. Has LSU ever had a number one class? Like, maybe that 2011 class that called themselves the Fam, that had Jarvis and Odell and Anthony Johnson and Lyle Collins, all those guys, maybe they were number one. They're far from done. And the other thing, too, is, Taylor, I'll tell you, I am way more interested in a weighted class that combines both your high school commits, signees, and your transfer portal guys. So, I mean, getting here you go. I think of LSU's commits, 16 or 17 of them are from Louisiana, which you have to do. I love what they did at cornerback, purging the two kids from Nashville and Orlando and getting some dogs from Louisiana and Mississippi. You've got some of the best players in the state staying home. Trades Green, Deshaun McBride. You flip Gabriel Relaford. I love that they flipped Weston Davis. It's a 5-star offensive lineman. You flip from A&M. You got Caden Durham, one of the best running backs in the country. Tylen Singleton out of Manny is a linebacker. You need depth and help at linebacker. I think they're doing great in this class. They're not done, but I certainly would love to see them get more interior defensive line help. I think they got to improve numbers there, but that's mitigated a bit if you get Smith and Wingo and Guillory to return. So we'll see. Charlie Cavell, Christian Geiger, Tom Granig, Bubba Smith, Quentin Brakebill, Tim Forche, Glenn Laurie, good morning. Hope y'all are doing great. Glenn said, Matt, did you give Ryan his watch? Not yet. I was going to do that Friday, but I think we're going to take the day off on Friday. So Guarantee's Christmas party is Thursday. And we've never, ever had the option of taking the day off after the Christmas party. And Guarantee's closing the office. And I was asked I was told if I want to give ESPN staff the day off, I can. I'm like, I do. So I think we're going to have a day off on Friday. So we may have to wait another week for Terrio to get his watch. Christian, can't wait for the draft. Hope Daniels gets to go to a good team. Might be beneficial if Drake and Caleb go ahead of him. Maybe this increases the likelihood of not going to the worst team. Yeah, sure. Here's the way I'd put it. Joe Burrow went to an awful organization, and he's made him a winner. If you're a good quarterback, you will turn an organization around. So, there's always the possibility that a team could trade up, a better team, a more stable team could trade up to take you. But generally, if you're going to go at the top of the draft, you're going to a bad team. It's the nature of the league. So, TK Brown, Chuck Bro, good morning. Josh DeVille, morning, Matt. Just wanted to tell you I appreciate all of your coverage. You're really good at what you do. Thank you. Question, what would you rather if you had one choice? Different direction than Matt House or DA and Pete Carmichael gone? Dennis Allen, Pete Carmichael. Because Matt House has proven that he can be a good defensive coordinator. And I think a gigantic part of that in college is you still have to have the Jimmies and the Joes. And LSU does not right now. So you can still recruit better players and get better defensively. Dennis Allen now is proven to be a failed head coach in the NFL and is going nowhere. So I don't see any opportunity for that to improve. I do see at least a possibility the defense could improve with Matt House. Todd Harris, what's up? Chuck, thanks again for sharing the Jaden painting. Yeah, man, for sure. That was a great job. So Chuck Bro did a Jaden Daniels Heisman painting. If you're not familiar with Chuck's work, he does really, really beautiful art. And you can check it out. Did a great painting of Jaden kind of hitting the Heisman. Looks really good. Jim Arsenault, Mark Vitanovich. Yeah, I saw Zion got made fun of by Stephen A. I don't know if he's making fun of him so much as he was criticizing him, saying, like, you're ruining a chance at greatness because you can't stop eating. He's not wrong. Darren Reeves, good morning. All I want for Christmas is Bill Belichick to the black and gold. Then a book up from the dream. You know what, Darren? I'm not so sure that I'd be super excited about that. I do understand that Bill Belichick is the greatest coach ever. He's also into his 70s right now, and I don't know that he wants to sort of engineer a rebuild. So, Bob Poole, Chad Cornett, what's going on? Will Malik Neighbors play in the bowl game? He said he will, Mark. Hey, Dad, good morning. Ray Woods, Matt, looks like some things are starting to move a little with GameCoin. Got any updates? Yeah, if you haven't been paying attention. So, I need to do, maybe one day soon I'll do like a nightcap and we'll go deep dive into this. But so last Monday in the weekly update, the GameCoin board announced that GameCoin fully cooperated with an SEC investigation and were completely allowed to proceed with no wrongdoing whatsoever. I would love to talk more about what triggered that investigation to begin with, because it was one person trying to extort David Mailer and GameCoin. And instead of packing it up, David was completely transparent, flew to Miami, met with SEC officials. We all had to sign affidavits saying we wouldn't talk about it, haven't, so can now. But I mean, I can't say names and stuff like that, but I'm very eager to talk about this because it's so validating. The other part is they announced yesterday the hiring of a new COO, which is very exciting. And there is even more really, really, really good stuff coming that you'll learn in the coming days and weeks. But the platform is closer than ever to being launched. After going through 3 different developers, I don't want to speak out of turn here, but suffice to say that David just took matters into his own hands and is now controlling the speed at which it's being developed, not relying on somebody else. And the target launch is in Q1 of 2024. And we are closer than ever, and a lot of the new technology is awesome, and it's going to coincide with the next crypto bull run, which is going to be a lot of fun. So yes, lots of really, really good stuff happening. And part of the reason why I was quiet for so long was because of the investigation with the SEC and things that we weren't allowed to say legally. So now we can, and I am very, very excited to say a lot. But what you can know at its most basic level is the project is moving forward. There has been no wrongdoing whatsoever from anyone associated with GameCoin, which cooperated with a 1 and 9 month long investigation fully with the Securities and Exchanges Commission and has been fully cleared to proceed with the platform. So I am as excited now, probably more excited than I've ever been. And now you know why it has been quiet for a while. But I want to go into much more detail about the piece of dog stuff that tried to extort money from David Mailer, which triggered the investigation itself. But in time. D. Nicholas, Jason H., what's going on? Rumors about Corey Raymond. What about rumors about Corey Raymond? I mean, I've been talking about Corey Raymond here for weeks now. And I mean, I'll tell you what is not a rumor. It's that Corey wants to come back. I mean, I have no problem saying that. I've been saying that. He wants to come back. He has spoken with people at LSU about coming back. There are people within the LSU athletic department and the football staff that want Corey Raymond back on staff. It is ultimately Brian Kelly's decision. And if I had to guess, I do believe Corey Raymond will be back on staff. Again, I'm not breaking news. I'm not reporting anything. The first part I told you, I don't mind saying at all. Corey wants to come back, and there are people in the athletic department and the football program that want him back and are lobbying for him to come back. So that much I'll say very plainly. What I don't know definitively is if or when Brian Kelly will hire him. But if I had to guess, again, this is where I'm guessing, I would say yes, I do believe Corey Raymond will be back on staff next year. Just a guess. Educated guess. Bailey C., I think Dennis Allen is back next year regardless. If they don't win the division, Carmichael is definitely gone. Bailey, if they lose out, if they lose the next 4 games, he's fired. So I wouldn't say regardless. Fire Fry LSU, good morning. Been a while since Coach Live. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it very much. Let's see, do a couple more minutes here. Bubba Tatum, haven't drafted the first-round quarterback since Archie, and Sanders would be the one to break that cycle. Heck no. Why not? I think Shedeur Sanders is going to be an awesome professional quarterback. Athleticism, arm strength, accuracy, toughness. Dude was playing by an atrocious offensive line this year and kept getting up, and they were good offensively despite no line because he was awesome. So, yeah, I'd be good with Shedeur Sanders. Eric Waterrider, for the sake of argument, maybe not signing the transfer quarterback is an issue with resource allocation, i.e., if it's $500,000 more we can spend on defense, might make sense versus a bottom tier transfer quarterback. So just to be clear, Eric, it's not going to cost $500,000 to get a bottom tier transfer quarterback. I think it would cost a fraction of that. So if you wanted to go get one of the top guys in the portal, you're spending close to 7 figures. I know Matt Rule said what he said, but to get the type of player that LSU is targeting, it's not going to cost that. Sergeant King, good morning, Matt. Moffitt, is it good or bad leaving? Well, he's not leaving. I mean, Brian Kelly didn't retain him, so Tommy Moffitt hasn't been coaching the last 2 years. And I had Coach Moffitt on the show not long ago, and he disclosed that he had offers. I mean, he had job opportunities both in college and the NFL, and passed on them, I think, for family reasons, like I just said. It's great for Texas A&M, which is a bummer. Matt Plavidal, morning, Matt. Realistic expectations for baseball. SEC champs in Omaha, absolutely realistic. This team has, you don't have Paul Skeens, obviously, but you have a ton of pitching depth this year, and they are going to hit the baseball. So yeah, I mean, there's like heretofore, Omaha should be an expectation every year. I mean, you're not going to win it every year. Obviously, we know that, but is it realistic to assume LSU could get to Omaha every year? Yes. Stephen Hahn, Weston Weaver, Hunter Broadhead, M. Nelson, we're for some dark times ahead. Loomis is making sure of it. Troy Aber, morning, Matt. Is Musso going on the second date yet? I don't know, and I need to ask him. I'll ask him today. Remind me, I'll ask him today. Matt, any positives for LSU men's basketball this year? Not really. They play again tonight. We'll see. Hunter Perriman, has there been any rumors about more people in the transfer portal interested coming to LSU? Yeah, I mean, LSU's targeting players in the portal, and with the early signing period coming up a week from today, we'll start to get more of those answers. Why do you think Tommy Moffitt left just about money? He didn't leave. Remember, he didn't leave. He was not retained by Brian Kelly. So he's not been coaching the last 2 years. He started a company called the Moffitt Method, which it's a really cool app-based platform whereby schools and different strength programs all over the country can tap into his workouts, and they can have virtual instructors and things like that, basically as a resource for programs that, like high school programs that don't have the resources to hire a full-time strength coach. They can use that. So anyway, that's what Tommy's been working on the last 2 years. Or a year and a half, I guess. No, 2 years. Yeah, 2 years. Yeah, December. Yeah, Brian Kelly was hired December of 2021. Okay, my apologies. It's 8:02. I got to go. I got to get Drew up and get him to school. I'm sorry if I missed you. YouTube, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. Facebook, please like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. We appreciate y'all so much for being here with us. As always, shout out to Brock. If you need an orthopedist, go to Brock. Hudco Roofing, you need a roof, give us a shout at Hudco. We'd love to help you out. Okay, y'all have an awesome day. LSU Daily is already live, so go to your favorite podcast app, type in LSU Daily. Please subscribe up. We appreciate it. And AFR3. Deuces.